Yes, boys, full day of eating. Actually thought of this one quite quickly to go ahead with it. Normally I'm planning a full day of eating in like a week in advance, and then it comes around to it and I forget about it, but here we are. Not meal one, but pre-meal one. We have got a hydration formula going in. It's this one, the Naughty Boy blueberry pineapple flavour. It is actually delicious. I have that flavour in their EAs as well. It was actually free samples. It's an offer on Insight Subs. A tub of Naughty Boy Whey and 15 servings of hydration for free. So yeah, get on that. It's actually pretty good. Plan of action for today. I'll mainly run you through the meals. It's a training day, full day of eating. Won't show much of the session, but I'll try to show some other bits like across the day. So it's going to be drink this, need to pose, do steps. Meal one is going to be the pre-workout meal, because then I'll have to eat my post-workout, get my hair cut, get home, probably have to have another meal before the cinema, going to see La La Land in the cinema. Pretty harshly criticised that film, and a lot of my friends love it, so I'm excited to see that in the cinema. Maybe give it a bit more of a deserving review, because your review always changes in the cinema realistically. La La Land, and then it's a chill evening. I think might start up a Minecraft world or something, or maybe watching another episode of True Detective. Who knows? This morning weighed in at 188.4 pounds, so actually that's a matched low from when I came, or before I left from France. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I travelled home from France yesterday, so to see that gain no weight across that holiday was pretty nice. That's training fatigue dropped off. Not that there was too much, but I did just want to enjoy the holiday. So now we push on with the final bits of fat loss. I'll see how body weight responds today, going into tomorrow, and then going into Sunday, and then whether we need a little bit of an expenditure bump or food drop, because last week, the week before, or the days leading up to the France trip, body weight was stalling a little bit. So I don't want to be spinning my wheels realistically, so I'd rather get that food drop in, and get the fat loss moving again. That is really good, yeah. I'd highly suggest that. So yeah, I'm going to get into posing. I might record a little bit of that. Depends how the physique is looking. And then I'll talk while I'm on the steps. Aha, join me again before meal one. I don't know why the Osmo is not tracking me. That'll do. So yeah, out for steps. Got product supplement number 2 of the day. Imagine that, an hour into my day, and I've already had two supplements. You know, bank account balance is just gone. So yeah, this is Rise and Shine, blackberry cherry flavour, elite product. I actually must say. If you know me, you know I'm quite a stingy bastard with supplements, and I look upon like hydration stuff and I'm like, you really don't need that. Like that hydration sup I had this morning before posing, like that's only because it was free. Like I would not be spending my money on that. But this Rise and Shine Matrix is actually, it's very nice because tastes good. That got that little bit of caffeine that I actually think you do feel, but it's the cognitive improvements that you feel. I do feel like that bit more dialed in when I have my Rise and Shine, so I will be buying it going forward. This is my first full tub of it. I had it first of all at the Mr. Hamilton's house, Leo Casadel Hamilton. I was going to say Leo gave me some servings, but I more so stole them. But I gave him the money for them. So yeah, got to early test it. What did you call that? Like FIFA, when you got the codes, early access to Rise and Shine. Realising the last clip as well that I said I'd have a chill evening, but I'll just be editing this actually and try to get this up tonight. Try to get my last meal nice and early, and then maybe have this up for tonight, but realistically it might be tomorrow or so that it goes up. Talking about the weigh-in after France, the match low, that was really nice, because for me, I've been struggling like ever since I got into the sport of like not being a dickhead while away on holidays. I like my food and I always will, so when it's there and I don't have the structure of my routine, like when I'm at home, I know I have my 5 meals, there's no temptation to deviate from that at all. But see, when there's like the window for snacking or grazing is opening, it sort of offsets that mindset, and it's like, no, I could just have this. But protocol in France was like 3 meals a day, worked out really well. I could just have like yogurt and whey and fruit, oats, and enjoy a few bits. Like I had this almond and chocolate croissant, which was mega, like one of the best pastries I've ever had. Had a little like chocolate donut thing on the travel day home, a few slices of pizza 2 nights ago. I was actually so full after that. I was halfway through my bowl of oats and my mates couldn't finish their pizza, so of course I had to polish off a slice each. But again, like in a diet, and I didn't go back to finish my bowl of oats. I was just like, I'm stuffed. There's no point in me finishing those oats and making myself uncomfortable. So improvements all around, and it's a beautiful day today. You can see Milo walking in the distance. It is a lovely day to get in for upper. I'll keep most of the training footage out of this, but I might include the making of my intra and pre-workout drink, and I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything to talk about in this video, but I don't think so. In terms of the posing this morning, felt pretty flat, which what can you expect from last training session was Saturday and it is Friday today, so Saturday to Thursday off training, haven't been delivering many nutrients to the muscles, so didn't really feel like I was posing much, but matched low, pretty happy with the condition that I was holding, and yeah, excited to dig back in for fat loss. Yes, chaps, and you join me for meal number 1. I have to keep this quick because I should be leaving the house in 8 minutes to go and train, but I'm only getting round to my meals now. So if I flip the camera, I'll list the ingredients. Need to aim down. There we go. So pre-workout, we have 120 rice, 140 raw weight chicken, 100 grams of peppers, 150 banana, and 15 peanut butter. The drizzler format, also 3 grams of salt, and then we have the post-workout prepped as well, just so I can nail that before the barbers and not go too catabolic. But yeah, need to get this into me. This is such a good meal. I'm horny for this meal, I guess you could say. Haven't eaten in 13 hours, so gonna get this bait into me. Get a podcast on. I like eating my meals to a podcast because you can just sort of eat at your own pace. If you're watching a show or a video, like a actual like YouTube video where stuff's happening. MacBook's not in here. That's brilliant. Yeah, like you're trying to keep up with the video, I feel. So like this is a very minute thing, but eating to a podcast might just be that little bit better for like regulating like the speed you're eating. But maybe like in the evenings where you're having your final meal, maybe it's like your nice sweet meal or your creamy or something. Yeah, stick on a show. That's normally what I do. Stick on Stranger Things. That's the current watch. Or maybe it's True Detective. I'm also watching that with my dad. So we're 3 episodes into that. That's like meant to be one of the best seasons of TV ever written. And to be fair, 3 episodes in, I'm pretty hooked. So excited to get that finished as well. There's 10 episodes in, and then I might just sack it off. I've heard it does get worse because they changed the whole cast. But enough rambling about TV shows. Get this into me and go and train. Yes, boys, just pulled outside the gym and wanted to run you through the pre-workout supplementation, I guess, because it is a full day of eating. So everything that I am ingesting, I want to document. So caffeine of choice, it's been a very low stim day for me. You know, the 50 milligrams caffeine through the Rise and Shine, and then 1 Monster. Got this for my birthday. Auntie Val, thank you. Yeah, you might be watching this, no idea. But yeah, Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red. It's like a pink lemonade. It's actually a lot better than the first time I ever tried that. So I don't think it quite goes into the top 5. I might as well list out the top 5 while I'm here, even though I'm in a big rush. I'd say Peachy Keen, then Ultra Blue Hawaii. A lot of people won't have tried that, but that is unreal. Then we're probably gonna go with a white, just for just the GOAT energy drink, really. GOAT of consistency. White, Rosa, and Lando Norris probably is my top 5. And then some honourable mentions are Paradise is good, the apple flavour is good. What else is not making it? Maybe that's the only honourable mention. Yeah, to be fair, that's probably 6th. And then Ruby Red, maybe 6th or 7th. It's with the apple flavour, but yeah, got that in. So only 200 milligrams caffeine today. Did have like 414 milligrams yesterday on the travel day, so keeping it low today. And then pre-workout of choice was a full serving, so 22 grams of Nova Pump Neuro. So that is a non-stim pre, snow cone flavour, brilliant flavour. I do think I'm going to make the change to the engineered muscle pre-workouts though, with no like artificial flavourings or sweeteners, and see how I get on with that, because the panels of all that engineered muscle stuff are elite. And that, you know, you want results driven stuff, not like how it tastes. Realistically, I'd prefer to be drinking swamp water, but I'm getting a noticeable pump. Not to say Nova Pump Neuro is bad, it is probably my favourite non-stim pre I've ever used, it or Superhuman Pump. Also pinned L-carnitine, 0.5 mil, 250 milligrams each dealt before upper. I'll either do that pre-workout or in the morning fasted, depending on how my day lines up. You know, if I'm going straight from work to the gym, I'm not going to bring the needles and the L-carnitine and pin in my car. That's a bit of a bad look if anyone's to look in the car. But yeah, got to have it pre-workout today. So I'm assuming I will have a fully loaded pump. But yeah, need to wrap this clip up because I do need to train and get to the barbers and eat post-workout and film post-workout for the tube. So yeah, ready for a big session. And here we are, post-workout. I'll show you the meal, first of all, because if you're watching a full day of eating, that is probably what you care about. So we have 90 grams raw weight rice, 140 grams raw weight chicken breast, 100 grams banana, 100 gram peppers, 2.5 grams salt, and 15 grams of almond butter. So the exact same meal as the pre-meal, apart from portion sizes. I find that your post-workout meal doesn't really matter as much. You can run this trace carb. There's a whole like idea or consensus that you need a really high carb post-workout meal, or it needs to be zero fat, trace fat, and get your cereals in, cereal, whey, squash bars, bagels, jam. No, just eat something nutritious, you know. Yes, you're going to be a bit more insulin sensitive post-workout. Your blood sugar is going to be lower because you've just trained, you've depleted yourself. But if you're slamming like 200 carb with trace fat, that's going to do something negative to your insulin sensitivity. It's going to make you insulin resistant, especially if it's these processed food sources. So get something nutritious into you, and I personally just do savoury either side, because I like it. I like sitting down with my sweet meals, like in the evenings, maybe the bowl of core. The way I'm running my meals today is it'll be this, and then creamy next, going to the cinema, so that will be my chicken and veg meal, and then final meal is the cream of rice, so my little sweet treat in the evenings while I'm watching Stranger Things or something. And I think that's a good way to program your food in. But don't waste all your day's carbs in your post-workout meal. Pre-workout will be more important. As I said, you can run this trace carb. You're not training. Like for myself, trained upper there. Very good session, by the way. Very good. Reset a few numbers and got some quality sets in. But yeah, I'm not training upper for 3 sleeps. Do you think I'm having 0 grams of carbs between now and then? Like, no. My muscles are going to recover. I have 3 nights of sleep, like however many carb meals. Like, this meal does not need to be rammed full of carbs. Just take it easy on your digestion, get some nutrients in, and have a fat source, please. And we're back. Meal number 3. You know, it feels weird. What time is it? It's nearly 4:30. And meal 3 is only going in now, but we have the creamy going in. If I can actually pan the camera down, here we go. Creamy and 100 grams of berries. There was 10 grams of dark chocolate, but I devoured that. So yeah, creamy recipe at the minute is just 40 grams of whey and 300 mils of water. This is chocolate orange, Naughty Boy. Very good flavour in the creamy. Pop a raspberry in my mouth. But yeah, noticed that I was getting some finish my raspberry. Getting some digestive stress from the no sugar almond milk, so I just made the switch. Dropped it out, and it opened up like 5 fat in my meal plan where I could have like 10 grams of dark chocolate, and obviously that's going to be a lot more beneficial for just health in general. You know, you're getting an actual fat source rather than just shit in the no sugar almond milk. And yes, I was skeptical at first, but the creamy comes out just as good. Bit of cinnamon on this. We're far enough away from the post-workout window to where the anti-inflammatory effects won't really impact the training session or the hypertrophy outcome of the session. So get this into me. The watch of choice, or the podcast of choice with the meal, is the Natural Physique podcast. We've got Kyle Steadman. Maybe might be watching this actually. Got his glutes on screen, which is absolutely lovely for the YouTube. Plans after this: begin editing this YouTube video and then head to the cinema at 5 o'clock. I've got my cinema meal prepped with me. It's just chicken, veg, and dark chocolate, but I might show that on video because I might eat it after the cinema. Just need to see what way meal timings work out. But yeah, need to get this in because I am behind on meals. I'm waking up at 5:15 tomorrow for an early shift. And yeah, I like getting my meals finished early, but that's probably not going to be the case tonight. We'll get them finished about 9:30. So maybe we'll see a bit of a heavier weigh-in, which I don't want, because depending on Saturday and Sunday weigh-ins, I have to see if I need another food drop. And to be fair, I say I don't really want a heavier weigh-in, but like, I'm not hungry at all. I'm not food focused, so I don't mind dropping food again, dropping the hammer. Yeah, get this in. Cinema and final meal will be the nice one. It's the fun meal. It's the cream of rice. You know, we get the cream of rice and whey combo. I'll show you how to make or describe to you how to make the rice flour. And finish the creamy. So figured I would show you the next protein fat meal. Here we have. I can never pan the camera down in time. There we go. Chicken, 100 grams of veg split between peppers, tomatoes and cinnamon. And then we have our 10 grams of dark chocolate. We'll have to get that finished in the cinema. La La Land starts at 5, so 15 minutes of ads. 5:15, run time's like 2 hours 10 minutes, so if I was to leave it after, I'd be dragging that meal too long, and then I'd have to have my final meal too close to bed. So yeah, we'll eat that in the cinema, so you won't get to see me eating, but we'll be back in time for the final meal, the fun meal, which I said in the last clip. Between the post-workout and that creamy meal, went out, got my hair cut. You may have noticed, looking kind of fresh, but you sort of need that marination phase, or at least get a shower, because the fringe isn't sitting too good, but the fade looks solid. And then got my hair cut, hour of steps, so I'm sitting up at like 11.5k, 11.5k steps boxed off. And then after the cinema, I'll go for a food shop, walk Milo once again. That's 3 walks. You know, when your steps are sitting at like 15k, even 12.5 you can scrape by and feel naturally, but see 15, once you're probably pushing past 14k steps, it does feel like you're like constantly going for walks, especially if you're not like at your job or something. It does feel like you have to deliberately or like consciously always go out for a walk. So yeah, we'll get them boxed off before my final meal, most likely. People say like maybe save some steps after your final meal, but you know, I want to tick off all my expenditure. Yeah, it would help with digestion, but I want to eat my final meal and just chill. I don't want to have the burden of having, it's not really a burden, but I don't want to have to go out for 2,500 steps after my final meal. I want to eat my cream of rice, snuggle up in bed, and get a good night's sleep, realistically. What time are we saying now? 4:45. We'll have to leave the house in 15 minutes, so I might just chill and start putting together this YouTube video. I do have to post the PCA overall footage as well, so I'll actually just get that done. I'll be a productive boy. But yeah, next time I see yous will be the cream of rice meal. And here we have it. Full day of eating concluded with the fun meal. I'm trying to see how many angles I can show off this meal. This one's actually making it to the Instagram story. That looks quite aesthetic. So in that bowl we have 90 grams of cream of rice, banoffee flavour. Basically just trying to use that up. I actually do prefer the ground rice, like just plain rice, that is. Everyone gets confused to what ground rice actually is. Mix your whey salt into that and flavour it with the whey. I do prefer that than the flavoured cream of rice stuff. It's just one less artificial sweetener as well when you think about it, so it's a bit better for digestion. You can't volumize it as much, so maybe not in a diet phase is it as good, but then again, in a diet phase you do have to sort of weigh up, do I want this extra bit of food volume, or do I actually just want to be content with the meal, accept the hunger, but have good digestion and keep the midsection tight. But yeah, 90 grams cream of rice, trained by JP banoffee, 50 grams of Nolly Boy caramel biscuit, mixed into a whey paste, 100 grams frozen raspberries, the goat fruit, it goes frozen raspberries, fresh raspberries, frozen blueberries, fresh blueberries. That is the only acceptable order. And then 15 grams of peanut butter drizzler with 2.5 grams of salt and cinnamon on this meal as well. So yeah, you can sort of tell food focus is getting a little bit higher. I know I said in the last meal I'm not food focused, but like there's little times where it's like, you know, I care about this meal a little bit, and that's why I delayed putting the likes of cream of rice in so long in the diet, because you do care about these highly palatable meals. They do get you excited to eat that bit more when you start thinking about it. Like on the walk when I was finishing off my steps, let's just make sure I finish them off. Yeah, when I was finishing off my steps there, going for a walk, I was thinking, what whey paste am I going to use for this meal? And it's just little things like that make you know you're going to diet. But La La Land in the cinema before this upped my rating from 3 out of 5 to 4 out of 5. I get the hype, to be honest. Everyone has it as like a 5-star movie, 4.5 at least, and it's just like, this is the greatest thing ever. And to be fair, I respect that. I don't think that's a bad take, but for me, some of the songs just feel forced. Obviously, if you haven't watched it, I would recommend you watch it. It is a musical, and some of the songs just feeling that bit forced do bring it down a little for me. But like, it's a good watch, lads. Get into the movies. But yeah, I don't want to keep talking too long because I do want to get this in 8:30 now. I want to be in bed for 9 for my 5:15 wake, get that 8-hour sleep opportunity, and I actually just smell this, and it does smell quite enticing. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. That is my 2,500 calories training day, full day of eating. What are the macros like? 200 protein, 320 carb, 45 fat, something like that. I'll whack them, the total macros for the day, up on the screen somewhere. That hand gesture probably won't be in line with the macros, but yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, what everyone says. Everyone says jazz. What could I say? All that malarkey. I'll go with that. And yeah, good night, fellas.